Peace and love. It's Nicole Taylor from OneBadassMama.com, and I am here to share with you the joys of my unassisted home water birth. I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl that we named Nature Divine on July the 7th. I did it completely unassisted. No medical professional was present. There was no one in the home but my husband and my 3 children. And baby is healthy, well. Mama is healthy, well. This process has made me feel so empowered. I feel that, I can conquer anything at this point. Anything I set my mind to, anything that I want to accomplish in this life, I can do it. Even giving birth unassisted. I feel like I was very prepared when I took the baby to the pediatrician. 1 week postpartum, the pediatrician was extremely impressed with just how well I handled everything after she was born. And she's in perfect health. Everything turned out well. And again, I don't advise that everybody do an unassisted birth, but if you're on the journey and it's something you feel comfortable doing, you're healthy, you're whole, and you've started this whole process, I do want to tell you that it is possible. And we've done it. It was an experience we would treasure forever. Unfortunately, we do not have a full birth video. You'll find out why. Keep watching. But I do have some beautiful clips that I'm going to show you all of just our family's most precious moments. I remember there was a particular moment where my 2-year-old was getting irritated. He was overtired. He just wasn't wanting to go to sleep. He was screaming and yelling. And because I'm now in active labor, I could not take the commotion that was going on in my home. My husband and my oldest were trying their best to get him calm down, bathe. In the bed, it just was not happening. I, in the midst of active labor, jumped out of the pool. I walked down the hallway and I just grabbed my son from them, and they're like trying to fight me like, we got it, leave him alone. And I just remember saying, I got it. And I just took them from him. I'm holding him. I remember I got in the room just enough time to lay him on our bed, and a contraction hit. And I just stopped and I breathed through it. He stayed right there and was looking at me like, yeah, okay, get through your contraction, but I need you to put me to bed. So I threw his pajamas on. Now, y'all, when they say every labor is different, it's no lie. This particular birth, not only did she hurt me worse than any of my other kids, but my body went through so much. I was so nauseous during labor. I've never felt like I wanted to just vomit. I remember them I put ice by the pool and I filled it with water, and they were literally putting towels and ice water. And at first I wanted them to wring them out before they gave them to me. It got to a point where I was like, just take them straight out the ice water and put them on me, because I was so hot and my body was just, I thought I was gonna hurl. Now I know that's all normal, but I had never gone through that before. But I had diarrhea, y'all. It was so bad right before I went into transition. But I remember grabbing my son up and I ran to the bathroom. I sat on the toilet. Now, I put on his favorite playlist. I'm rocking him to sleep with his music playing while I'm shitting and counting through contractions that was hitting my ass hard as hell. And I was like, this is what being a badass mama is about. You make it happen. It doesn't matter what it takes. It doesn't matter how impossible it may seem. We find something deep within us to just make it happen because we don't have another choice. So I'm still trying to figure out how I was rocking my 2-year-old to sleep while listening to a Daniel Caesar mix on Google Play and shitting and having contractions. Yeah, it was crazy. So my son went to sleep quickly. I was so happy. So I remember saying, okay, I knew another contraction was coming, because at this point they were about 3 minutes apart. And I was like, okay, as soon as this next contraction is over, I'm gonna wipe my ass, I'm gonna put the baby in the bed, and I'm gonna run back to the pool. I'm doing all this in my head, right? So I get through the contraction. As soon as it hit, it was like clockwork. Your girl was running a marathon, you hear me? And as soon as I got in the pool, that's when I hit transition, and the contractions were so hard. They were literally, I was levitating. They were lifting me up off the ground. I was literally like on my toes and my fingertips trying to get through them. And shortly after that, Nature Divine was in the building. So I just give thanks for how everything, hindsight now, I see it was all like everything worked. It was smooth, it rolled. It was a beautiful experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Outside of just trusting myself for this birth, I now trust myself for it. There is nothing that y'all can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Y'all know this song. I literally just am in love with me. I'm in love with my own ability to manifest, to create, and I know that nobody knows best for me but me, right? And even if that means seeking out professionals to help me, I know and I trust myself enough to know whenever that's needed. So because we don't have a birthing video, I'm going to bring some of my family members in and just allow them to share with you, to give their insight, their experience, and then I have a few clips that I'm going to show you for this room. Okay. So, tell me about your experience having your baby sister born at home.
I don't know what I think.
Let you think?
Yes.
Okay.
My experience was hearing my mom scream.
Wait, what?
Wait,
Wait a minute.
Hearing me scream.
Hear me scream? Is that what was happening?
Yes.
Well, what did my scream sound like?
Incredible Hulk.
Sounded like Incredible Hulk.
Yes.
Oh, somebody's mad.
Nature.
So, was that like the highlight of the whole day for you? Okay, so what was the highlight of that day?
The good part was finding out that she was a girl.
Oh yeah, that was a shocker.
I
Huh?
do not want another baby brother.
You didn't want another baby brother?
No, he's annoying. Boys are annoying.
They can be sometimes.
They're all
That
the time
doesn't change.
annoying. They're all the time annoying. Oh, Nature's coming.
Of course nature's
Hey, you
coming.
talking about her?
Of course nature's coming. Hello, baby. What's your matter? You want milk? I know. Oh, we're doing a video about you. Do you want to say hello? Do you want to share with other little siblings who may be preparing to experience having their sibling born at home?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
It's going to be a great experience. And you're going to have a great time.
Okay.
And it's natural if your mom screams.
I love it. Good stuff. All right. So, Nikayla, let's talk about your experience at our unassisted home birth.
Well, it was like a roller coaster. Like you don't know what's gonna happen next. It was really fun. It was kind of nerve wracking because this has never happened before. But it was really fun, and as you can see, she's here, safe and very pretty. It was I don't know. It was a lot. It's something that I'll never forget. For the first time in forever, I've cried of joy. I've never known how it felt to cry of joy. I never knew how people could cry of joy, but when she was born, I cried, but not in a bad way, in a good way.
I'm gonna cry now. That's so sweet. Yeah, you were. Nikayla is crying all through videos. You hear her. Oh, mommy.
Especially because I was expecting her to be a boy, and especially when I found out she was a boy.
I'm sorry again to everybody. I'm sorry, okay? The first time, you get a gender wrong for the first time, and people want to just never let you forget. Yeah, when you found out it was a girl, you lost it.
Yeah, that was just amazing. And the fact
Transition gears to talk about why we don't have a birth video.
well, part of it's my fault. So I'm so sorry, guys. Part of it's my fault because We had some technical
I
difficulties.
said, turn it to the camera and press the red button.
I didn't turn it to the right button. I turned it to the next
Photo, yeah.
It was, and I knew something was up. I was like, why did it look like this? Because there was like words and stuff. I was like, what is this? And mommy was in the middle of contraction, so I could be like,
I was in transition, and she had the nerve to want to try to ask her
so
dad instructions, and he had the nerve to be trying to give her instructions. First of all, I don't want to hear neither one of y'all. Shut it down. Second of all, my husband got ready to get out of the pool with me. I was grabbing onto his arms, holding. The strength of holding and squeezing his arms was the only thing helping me get through the contractions, and he had the nerve to want to leave to go help her with the camera.
So
What'd I say, dude?
Just
Mama said, shut it down.
Yeah.
Go to bed. Now. He said, baby, we need the video. I said, I don't give a fuck about that video. Then afterwards, I was like, we don't have a video.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It happens.
One thing that I also want to say is I've never heard my mom scream as loud as she screamed.
We just gonna talk about the scream, huh?
It made me cry. I was crying when I came out of my room to come see the baby because it kind of hurt me too because my mom was in pain and I've never heard her scream before. Actually, I've never heard you scream before. Not that I can remember.
You probably will never. And to be clear, what they're categorizing as a scream was more of like a roar.
Yeah, roar.
I felt like I was about to give out at one point, and it was nothing but the strength from the Almighty that came upon me, and that roar is what really was able to help me get her out. So I can imagine that being very intense for them to hear, especially when they've never heard me. Well, thank you for sharing, and thank you for being there and being so supportive and being my baby doula, because you held it down and made sure I had everything I needed, anything I asked of both of you, Naima too, anything I asked of you, y'all held it down for me, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So let's talk about your experience during our unassisted home birth journey and how it differed from the births of our other children. Or I will say I want to thank you again in front of the whole world for being my rock, because you held it down in that pool, from blowing the pool up to filling the pool up to getting in the pool to emptying the pool.
Yeah.
You held it down, and I'm so thankful. I think there was a point where I literally thought that I wasn't going to be able to make it.
Well, but I knew you had it in you.
Yeah.
I knew she had it in her. It was, I just had to outwardly let her know that she had it within herself.
Yeah. And I literally, there was a point I looked him in. What did I say? Did I just say I can't do
it or something like that. Something pertaining to that.
I couldn't. I was done. I was like, I don't think I can do this. And I looked him in his face and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, because you had pushed and your breathing and stuff, and it was like, do you see anything?
Okay, let's go back for a minute, because I want to say this. This child here hurt me more.
It was different than any other.
Any of my other. I don't know what was going on. I felt so. I'm sorry. Don't cry. It's the truth. Don't cry. You did though. You hurt me, girl. Don't cry though. It's all good. She hurt me more. It got to a point where I didn't think I could go on because the pain was unbearable, and it just seemed like the contractions were. I remember telling him they're not letting up. They weren't letting up. I didn't realize, and that's the thing with a home birth and it being unassisted. Even if I had a midwife present, a midwife could tell me how far dilated I was, and I think that for me, I probably could have been able to. If I would have thought about it, I could have had him checking me for dilation throughout my pregnancy, even though it's not necessary. But if you just wanted to know, you can check yourself, but you have to do it to know what your cervix feels like before it's dilated to be able to tell when it dilates, how far dilated it is. But because I had nobody kind of telling me how close we were, all I know was instantaneously my body just felt like, I don't know what's going on. And I heard this voice inside of me saying, it's time to push. Because I'm like, I can't take any more pain. Like, this has to be it, you know. And then I heard, it's time to push. I remember looking at him saying, I can't do this, because I had started pushing and I felt like I was giving it everything I could give it.
Right.
I had gave it so much, and I would say, do you see anything? He's like,
I'm like, come on, baby, you got this.
He was like, no, I don't see nothing, homie.
You got
Like,
this.
keep pushing. And I remember finally,
something came out. It was
yeah, I think my water broke.
Yeah,
my water broke.
Water broke. Then I was like, well, I see something. And I was like, he was like, what? And I was like, some little,
it's probably
I
some
don't
of the
know,
membrane.
like, yeah. Some little
some
stuff
came out.
Stuff
but
came out.
she was close.
And I was like, oh man, this thing got real now.
And I could like, this was the first time that I don't know if it's because I'm so in tune and aware at this point with my body. I could literally feel her moving down the birth canal, which was wild to me because I'd never been able to really just feel my baby moving down the birth canal. And I remember I gave it one good roar, and that popped her head. And I remember looking down, and all I saw was her head. And I got so discouraged because I felt like I just gave it everything.
Yeah.
And it was just the head. And I remember dropping my head. You said you thought I checked out when I dropped my head?
Yeah, I thought that was like, I was like, nah, baby, come on.
Yeah.
You gotta finish.
And he looked me in my eyes. He said, you can do this. And
But let me say this. I know I wanted to, when I saw her head, well, at that time, I didn't know it was still her. But when I saw the baby's head, I was like, in my mind, you know that you can't pull the baby, but in your mind, you like, I want to pull the baby.
And I was so
like,
wanting to be like, can you just pull her out? But I knew that wouldn't.
But it kind of shocked me for a second because I was like, her head was under water. And I was like, oh man. And then I was like, okay, but that's why we're having a water birth.
Right.
She's good.
Right.
She can,
Right. And in that same token, when I dropped my head, when he said he thought I had checked out, I literally was reassessed. Like, I don't know, some type of spiritual transaction happened in that moment for me because natural Nicole had literally like checked out. My body felt depleted. Like I felt like I had given it everything. And I remember looking down and I saw her head. And I was like, okay, it's just a head. And I remember thinking, she's okay for a couple seconds because I got to get myself together. She's still under the water. She hasn't come up for a breath. She's been in water for 9 months. She's fine. So it took a couple of seconds. And that's when the spirit of the Orisha jumped on me. And
the ultimate roar. Yeah.
I gave a roar. And it kept going.
Shook
and
the house.
Going
Shook the
and
house.
going. And next thing we heard was...
No.
You said
no, I said it's a baby. Something like that.
It's a baby.
Yeah, I said,
it's a baby. And that's when the kids came out.
Came on out.
Yeah. Yep.
Roaring like a mighty lion.
Yep.
Out of Zion.
Okay then. Yes, it was a beautiful experience. How did you feel when I finally checked and saw it was a girl?
Wow. I gotta tell y'all this part, y'all. She said, now all this time we thought we were having a boy. And
I've never been wrong about the gender of our children. Let me say that.
Never.
I dream of my children. I see them in dreams. I know it even before.
She 3 for 4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did miss on this one. But in hindsight, I did dream of her. But now that I think of the dreams, I'm like, there were dreams where I just assumed it was a boy. Like, this is the child. I really didn't see her face. I've seen all the faces of my children and distinct characteristics and features. But the dream that I had of her, I just had a baby on an NBA basketball court. I'm like, she could be like a sports, attorney or a therapist or she could be doing anything with the sports arena. It didn't necessarily mean it was a boy, but just because I was rolling with it, I was like, oh, it's a boy. I had a dream on an NBA court. And then the player came and put the jacket on her. I was like, it's a boy. But for a while you kept saying, don't say that. You don't know. You kept saying, don't say it. It might not be a boy. And I'm like, it's a boy, I know. You kind of kept doubting me for a long time.
Yeah.
You doubted me well until I was showing.
Right, because I was like, yeah, I feel you on all of that, but let's get ultrasound. Let's get ultrasound. But it was, you know.
Then I finally thought to check, right? I was like, oh,
yeah,
snap.
as soon as the baby, you know, we knew the baby was breathing good and all of that. In my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, let's see. She bonding with the baby and all of this stuff. And I'm like, is it a boy? Is it a girl?
Oh, goodness. You know? It was about, 15 minutes when I checked.
I guess in my mind, I still thought it was a boy when the baby came out.
Me too. I did too. Now, maybe I didn't even think that. I don't know. I just didn't even think to check.
Because you caught up in the moment of, you ain't, you know, all that. Ultimately, it don't matter in that moment because you're just making sure the baby is here safely and
that's where
healthy.
I was just amazed that I did. Like, I was still on cloud nine that we even did it. Like, we did it. I'm looking like, yo, she looked like she whole. She got her fingers and toes, or at the time of the baby. And then finally I was like, oh, let me check. And then...
And this is what she said. She said...
Seriously? You gonna do this on camera?
Oh, you're not a boy. It's a girl. You're a girl. And I'm like... And then at that moment, she kind of holds the baby up a little bit. And I'm like... Oh, wow, it really is.
So now he keeps walking around the house randomly saying,
oh, you're not a boy, you're a little girl. And then our 11-year-old is tearing up, crying a river of pool.
It's a girl! It's a girl! Yeah, it was crazy. It was
pretty emotional moment.
That added to the beauty of it. I don't know.
Never forget that.
No, never at all.
And I'll tease her about it for the rest of her life.
Yes, randomly he'll just, it's a girl. I'm like, that's not funny. Don't do that. But I'm sorry.
Oh, it was hilarious.
I'm so sorry. But I guess hindsight, I kind of maybe had apprehension as well because I sure had that name on deck. I already knew what I was going to name her if it was a girl. So, you know.
Yeah, we had a short naming ceremony after about an hour or two.
Yeah, like, so, what we gonna name the baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we have clips. Rotate. Hey. 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 Hey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You are here. You are here. We did it. We did it. Oh, we did it, baby. Oh, hey.
Yes. Oh, that's mommy.
It's mine.
Yeah.
I know. I know. Hey. Oh, we did it. Oh, we did it. Yeah. Are you okay? You okay? You okay? Hey. Hey. Hey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. We did it, baby. You okay? You are not a boy. You are a little girl. You are a little girl. Oh,
We have
no.
a naming ceremony.
Oh, mommy's been calling you here the whole time. I'm so sorry.
Breastfeeding. We give thanks to the Most High for a successful, healthy delivery. My baby dug down deep and pushed that baby on into this world. And we give thanks. Thank you, baby. It's the last time. Ashe, ashe.
I can't believe